Something strange is happening in the Philippines, something many people around the world never expected. It's quiet, it's subtle, and yet it's powerful enough that global experts, investors, scientists, and political leaders are paying very close attention. The change isn't happening in some big, flashy moment. It's happening in small steps, hidden within daily life, economic shifts, cultural movements, natural events, and unexpected turns that have started adding up to something much bigger. And whether the world realizes it or not, these changes in the Philippines are beginning to influence international politics, global markets, climate strategies, migration trends, and even the future of technology in surprising ways. Before we go deeper, ask yourself this. How can a nation once described as overlooked suddenly become one of the most talked about countries in global discussions? Why is the Philippines, an archipelago of more than 7,600 islands, quietly reshaping the balance of things far beyond its borders? Keep watching, because by the end of this video, you might see the Philippines in a way you never have before. Let's start with the most unusual part. Many changes happen because governments push them, or because big companies invest billions of dollars, or because a crisis forces everyone to adapt. But in the Philippines, the change is coming from many directions at once: nature, technology, culture, economics, and even personality. It's like a series of small waves forming one large tide. And this tide is starting to reach shores far from Southeast Asia. One of the strangest and most unexpected forces shaping the future of the Philippines is nature itself. The country sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the most unpredictable and dangerous places on Earth. Earthquakes, typhoons, volcanic eruptions, these are part of daily life. But in the last decade, something unusual has happened. Scientists around the world have begun studying the Philippines more closely, because the country has become one of the clearest indicators of global climate change. When a new weather pattern appears, the Philippines often feels it first. When sea levels rise, the effects are noticeable along its coastlines. When storms become stronger, the Philippines experiences the early versions of what the rest of the world might eventually face. And here's the strange twist. Instead of collapsing under these challenges, the Philippines is becoming a model of resilience. International researchers now say the Filipino approach to adaptation, community strength, shared responsibility, creativity, and strong social bonds is something the world can learn from. Other nations are studying how Filipino communities recover quickly, how families support each other, and how people find ways to rebuild even when everything is destroyed. In a world dealing with increasing climate disasters, the Filipino mindset is becoming more valuable than ever. Now think about this. Could the cultural strengths of a nation become one of its biggest global exports? And if so, what does that say about the future of international cooperation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious what you think. But nature is only one part of the story. The Philippines is also becoming a major player in global economics in a way that didn't exist before. The world has entered a new era where digital work, remote jobs, and online businesses dominate, and the Philippines quietly became one of the world's top leaders in these fields. It started with call centers, but now the transformation is moving far beyond that. Skilled Filipino workers are filling roles in virtual assistance, creative industries, animation, programming, design, finance, medical support, engineering, and almost every remote profession you can imagine. Countries around the world rely on Filipino workers more than ever before, and this dependency is reshaping job markets. What's even more surprising is the way Filipinos are influencing global work culture. Many companies say that Filipino workers have changed how teams communicate, how customers are treated, and how modern work environments operate. Soft skills, empathy, patience, these qualities are becoming essential in a world now powered by digital relationships, and the Philippines is setting the standard. At this point in the video, if you're enjoying the insights, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves learning about global trends. It really helps the channel grow and lets us keep creating deep, meaningful content like this. Now here's another strange shift. The Philippines is becoming a technological hotspot, not because it builds massive tech hubs like Silicon Valley, but because it's becoming one of the world's most digital connected populations. With millions of young people, fast adoption of mobile technology, and a creative online community, the Philippines is influencing digital trends across Asia and even beyond. Music trends, dance trends, meme culture, gaming communities. Filipinos are shaping the global internet more than most people realize. Meanwhile, major international tech companies are watching. Why? Because the Philippines is a unique test bed for digital behavior. It's one of the most social media active populations in the world. If something succeeds online in the Philippines, there's a good chance it will spread globally. This gives the Philippines a kind of digital power that is subtle but extremely meaningful. Fashion trends, influencer habits, small businesses, digital payments, online learning platforms, many of these industries are being shaped by Filipino user patterns. Here's something to think about. Is digital influence just as powerful as political influence today? And if so, is the Philippines one of the most underestimated digital powers in the world? Leave your answer in the comments. I'm curious how you see it. But the story gets even stranger. While technology rises, so does something older and deeper: identity. Filipino identity, once heavily influenced by outside cultures, is becoming more confident and more global. A new generation is redefining what it means to be Filipino. They're keeping traditions alive but adding modern twists. They're showcasing Filipino culture on huge international stages: music competitions, global sports, film festivals, tech conferences, and online platforms. For the first time, the world is watching Filipino culture not as something hidden or small, but as something expressive, creative, and influential. Filipino food is gaining international recognition. Filipino artists are rising in global entertainment. Filipino athletes are earning world titles. Filipino entrepreneurs are reaching global markets. Even Filipino ideas about family, community, cooperation, faith, humor, and resilience are spreading in powerful ways. Now here's something intriguing. Identity is one of the most powerful forces in the world. Do you think cultural confidence can drive a nation toward a stronger future? Let me know your perspective in the comments. We also can't ignore geopolitics. The Philippines has suddenly become one of the most important locations on the world map. Many countries, large and small, are paying close attention. The Philippines is becoming a central player in international relations because of its location, alliances, and strategic role in maintaining peace in the region. This is creating a ripple effect across global security, trade routes, and diplomatic strategies. Some experts say the future balance of power in Asia may depend partly on the Philippines. Others say the country is becoming a bridge between global communities, bringing nations together through diplomacy and cooperation. What once seemed like a small country in Southeast Asia is now emerging as a significant voice in world affairs. The most surprising part of all this? None of these shifts are happening loudly. They're happening quietly, through the actions of everyday people, through choices made by workers, students, families, innovators, communities, and leaders. That's why this transformation is so fascinating. It's not one big event. It's thousands of small events happening at once. Now, imagine what the Philippines might look like in the next 20 years. A rising economic force, a global digital influencer, a climate resilience model, a cultural powerhouse, a political key player. What if the Philippines becomes one of the most important countries shaping the future in ways we never expected? Before we continue, make sure to like this video if you're finding it interesting so far. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time, because we post videos that explore global changes, unseen trends, and surprising truths just like this one. Let's go even deeper. One thing that sets the Philippines apart is how Filipinos handle hardship. The world has noticed that Filipinos smile even in difficult times. support each other when disaster strikes, and find reasons to stay optimistic even when challenges seem overwhelming. This emotional strength is incredibly powerful and rare. In a world filled with uncertainty, the Filipino spirit has become a model of hope. International psychologists, sociologists, and researchers have begun studying traits like bayanihan, community unity, resilience, faith, humor, and adaptability. They say these traits may hold answers to some of the world's growing problems: loneliness, disconnection, burnout, and social division. Imagine that, a nation teaching the world how to stay strong, connected, and hopeful. Now think about this. Could the emotional strength of a people become a global advantage? What do you think makes Filipinos so resilient? Share your thoughts below. Another strange thing is happening too. Filipinos abroad, known as OFWs, are not only supporting their families back home, but also shaping global cultures. In countries across the Middle East, Europe, North America, and Asia, Filipinos are influencing communities, work environments, and even traditions. Filipino nurses are becoming essential in global healthcare. Filipino caregivers are supporting aging populations in other nations. Filipino teachers, seafarers, engineers, and professionals are shaping industries worldwide. Because of this massive global presence, the Philippines has become a cultural connector, bridging people and cultures that would normally never interact. This global Filipino network is one of the strongest in the world, and it quietly influences global decisions, social relationships, and even economies. As we reach this point, let me ask you, do you think the Filipino diaspora is one of the country's greatest sources of global influence? Why or why not? Leave your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. So now, when we put all these pieces together, the picture becomes clear. Something strange really is happening in the Philippines. It's not just one change, it's many changes. Not just one movement, it's an entire shift. Not just one moment, it's an unfolding future. The Philippines is rising, reshaping, and redefining its role in the world. And what makes it even more interesting is that most people don't see it happening until they step back and look at the bigger picture. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more powerful stories like this, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share it with someone who would find this fascinating. And finally, here's one last question to leave you thinking. What do you believe the Philippines' greatest strength will be in the next 20 years, and how might it influence the rest of the world? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be reading them. Thank you for watching, and stay curious, because the world is changing, and sometimes the biggest changes begin in the most unexpected places.